we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado, this is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
That was a good flick, though. Adam Sandler's done a lot of good stuff, and I heard he's got, what's that golf one? Happy Gilmore. There's a second one in the
Yeah,
works.
are they coming out with a new one?
Stop that.
It's been confirmed by Adam Sandler.
Oh my. See, I'm weird about sequels. I'm
I
weird
am
about
too.
the number twos. And especially with the Happy Gilmore.
I know. It's the
How
bar
are you
is
gonna top that first one?
the bar is set too high.
Like the whole tent thing that he had going on in that movie. Remember, he had like this massive tent in the backyard.
No, that was Billy Madison.
Oh, okay. See, I'm getting them confused now.
But also a great movie. But Happy Gilmore, he has to play golf to save his grandma's estate.
Okay.
So my guess is, like, the plot with this is he probably inherited the estate, and now he's going to have to golf for it again or something.
See, I'm thinking it's going to go like kid-wise. I think that he's going to have like second gen, like he's croaking out on us or something happened to him and now we got to save it for him.
That might be. That might be. But Shooter McGavin has been confirmed. He's going to be in it.
Oh my
Obviously,
gosh.
the real Chubbs died.
Oh.
And he was kind of dead in the movie, too, so I'm not sure how that's going to work.
He was kind of dead in the movie.
And then I'm
Yeah,
predicting
he
that
was.
Drew Carey's going to step in because Bob Barker's now dead. The Price is Right.
Oh my god.
So those are my early predictions for Happy Gilmore.
I feel like everybody has been taken from us. And I didn't know about Bob Barker and I'm a
He was
little
old,
upset
though.
about. Yeah, I know, but I'm a little upset about that.
He was like 99.
When I found out Jerry Springer died, I block it out every time, and then I get so upset every time. I'm like, God.
Jerry Springer. Did you used to watch Springer?
Of course I did.
That's classic American trash TV.
Oh, of course.
That's like where it came from.
Yeah.
He was like pioneering it. Like he was able to like test all the networks and all of their kind of rules and regulations that they had. He probably created a lot of rules and regulations based upon things that would happen on the show.
Well, and I think I also come from more of, no. I'd love to age the both of you. I'm so sorry. I love Jersey Shore and The Real World and all of that, and the both of you aren't that old, so you guys should both at least know those.
We know those.
And then
what is it? Gym Tan Laundry.
Oh yeah, okay. Listen.
Yeah, that's what
the boys?
the slogan.
Well, for the
don't know.
boys,
Yeah.
for Polly, Vinny, and
I
the
couldn't watch that
situation.
shit. I wasn't my jam. I was already out of high school when that was out. I was watching. What the hell was I watching? I think the last trash I watched on MTV was like Tila Tequila.
The last trash.
Remember her?
That was trash.
Whatever happened to her?
It's all drama
Look
TV.
her up on TikTok.
Is she a mess? I bet she's a mess.
But Bad Girls Club, y'all know anything about Bad Girls Club? See, I'm telling you that.
What is Bad Girls Club?
I mean, what
What
year
is-
are we talking here, Erin? Because we're old.
No, but you're not that old. And see, and that's the thing.
We're closer to 40 than 30.
Well, I'm actually,
Well, actually,
I'm
I
35,
am.
so I'm
I
closer
am.
to both 30 and 40.
Yeah, you're in the merry middle right there.
Oh, and you're not the same age?
Now he's older than me.
I'm 37. I'm
Oh,
37.
a whole 2 years. Okay.
Yeah. A lot can happen in 24 months.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. You can lose a lot of weight. You could overcome addiction. A lot can happen.
Yeah.
No,
It's-
okay.
it can get
fair
serious.
enough.
It can
But I
get
mean,
serious.
but then also, what happens in 24 months is all sorts of reality trash, and
Yeah.
so I just feel like Bad Girls Club is just it's a show of a bunch of beautiful ratchet women that
Okay.
go on there and fight and twerk and party and fight.
It's a shit
and
show.
It's drama TV.
Oh, of course. And
Yeah.
it shaped my entire generation. I have a dear friend.
How so though? Like, what are some like the key points of how it shaped your
Oh,
generation?
that like fuck around and find out.
Oh,
Is that where that came from?
No, but I think that's where the attitude came from. I'm sure
Okay.
fuck around and find out came from more y'all than it came from us.
That's fair.
I think that our generation doesn't want to admit it, but we're just revamping
Now,
everything.
are you
from,
Gen Z?
I think technically I was born in 1999.
Yeah, so you're
Okay.
Gen Z.
But I like to identify
As a
more.
millennial?
Yes, absolutely. Because I grew up with more that age group, and
Yeah.
I wasn't watching stuff that like my age of kids were watching. I was pretty like young for Jersey Shore, and I can quote the entire thing. I'm really young for MySpace MySpace, and I had a MySpace. So I mean,
Yeah, the custom music. You can,
I used to get down with that.
On a custom music page, you log on, like your music's playing. You're like, I'm changing my music. I'm changing my mood.
I'm changing my MySpace profile song.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
You know, literally,
Check my mood.
No, to have to switch up your entire MySpace, like Facebook could never. Like, I really think we need to bring MySpace back because Facebook could never.
Hashtag bring MySpace back.
Please.
Back. Remember
Justice,
Tom?
Yeah, justice for MySpace.
Tom was like the guy that started. I don't remember his last name, but his profile pic was like him, like writing on like a whiteboard. He's all excited.
Yeah.
And you'd get a message from him sometimes. He'd be like, "Oh, it's the guy."
See, that's exactly
thanks,
what
Tom.
this is. What we need. Social media has turned into
A mess.
such a negative space, and so why aren't we going back to the Vine
You're
days?
talking about being addicted to drama TV.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a negative space?
Of course it is,
So-
but at
so-
least I'll own it.
Okay, so I'm guilty of this too, right? So I've been watching some of the like 90 Days or like 90 Day Fiance type of shit.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's with your girlfriend.
It's with my girlfriend.
So there is that. You're not watching that on your own.
And so I'm gonna hit both sides of this a little bit. So the advocates.
I love Devil's
Okay, so
Advocate.
it has the good things is it's brought up a couple questions since I'm watching it with my girlfriend that we then got to ask each other because the show's like presenting it.
Oh, yeah.
And some of those actually did open up a good conversation. We learned something about each other.
That's fun.
Okay, so there's that. It is also entertaining. Of course, everybody, like the poison of the mind is drama and gossip. We all know this. And it's addicting to all of us. So it does have a place for entertainment value. And then on the negative side, though, what I will mention is that I've noticed if I watch it too much, like I'm watching it too frequently. Like I feel like anything more than in 1 hour in a day of drama TV, I feel like that's my personal limit. Like I can't watch more than an hour of it in one day. If I watch it more than an hour in one day, then I start to like think about the drama constantly.
Yeah,
like
in your own head, it's in your own day.
Yeah, and then you're like thinking about, oh, isn't that stupid? How?
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting over here concerned about some relationship that was filmed 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
So, I want to ask this before I answer that. Do you think that's like the difference between the male and female brain? Because I think that I hear that kind of opinion from males more than us females.
I mean, that's an interesting question. And I believe that it's universal beyond gender or like whatever. Because I believe in that this stuff is perpetuating negativity regardless, right? And it's just how much of that do you want to allow into your life?
So are you able to think about it as like separation between TV and bringing that negativity into your own? Like, I think that I can sit there and binge an entire season of Bad Girls Club, Jersey Shore, Real Housewives, whatever, and then walk away and then realize that I have real life drama. And so I can, I separate that and I'll go hide in their rich people drama while I'm dealing with real world drama, So
I'll say one more thing here and then hand it off to Kev because I'm sure you have some input here as well.
I'll comment.
But I think that everybody's subconscious echo chamber works the same. And if our subconsciouses are truly recording everything that happens in our life and it's bouncing around in our heads, then the more we absorb anything, then the more likelihood it is to bounce around in our head. That's how, like, my PC answer.
I don't like PC answers.
No, that's fair. I mean, like I've told you, when I've watched The Sopranos, a whole season in a row, something about me starts to change.
That's
I'm like, I
want
to go smoke a cigar and start talking like Tony and fucking gabagool.
You do want to start talking like that.
It starts to almost rub off a little bit when I get really, really sucked into it. But then there's other programs like my car shows, like the Grand Tour on Amazon, love it. Clarkson's Farm, I feel like I'm learning things. That's not really drama TV. That's more like, docu-series, following some stuff around. But they try to sell these drama stuff as like a docu-series. When a lot of it is kind of choreographed to an extent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like they put the alcohol there. They want people getting fucked up. They want content.
Oh, for sure. But I feel like that's, the true difference between, reality television and, that's kind of how I feel about, what was that show? Storage Wars or whatever, where
Oh,
you
yeah,
would bid on. Yeah.
This is staged, right?
It's so staged, dude.
It's
Wife
almost
swap,
predictable.
Yeah,
so
it's
staged.
staged.
You know, and so at that point, like, make it a fictional show. I'm really bad about that. Like with your example with The Sopranos, like I'm really bad about that. Like Yellowstone. I was a huge Sons of Anarchy person.
Oh, that was a great show.
Yeah, and so like
That was one of the best shows. Can we just say Sons of Anarchy also ended really good.
so
Like that show all around was good.
did
I really
not
like the
watch the
ending. Really?
last
I liked it.
season. I did not watch the last
Oh,
season.
I like the ending.
I couldn't handle how we started the last season and, you know, the tragedies that were unfolding. I couldn't handle that, and I want to try to I'm trying to get my girlfriend into it so I can rewatch it and then watch the last season.
Oh yeah, that's the way.
But I know so many bikers and like club bikers, 1% bikers, where I'm just like, that's not right. Like that's not what's going on. So I think that was
A misrepresentation.
Yeah.
and by the end of it, that was starting to get on my nerves.
Yeah.
But I want to try again so much. And Charlie Hunnam, whatever, Jax Teller, whoo,
Oh yeah, he's a handsome lad.
whoo, got a special place in my heart. He was just at the
He's a
Met
handsome
Gala. Ooh, he stepped out for the Met Gala. He looked beautiful.
Top shelf,
Really?
10 out of 10. Would
Wow.
do it again.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, all day long. Yeah.
Was he rocking a beard? Like what?
Oh yeah, no, he looked exactly like
Yeah.
Jax Teller, but he was in this all black suit and he had this like rhinestone like bow tie situation and these pearls and stuff. He just looked very like sleek and dapper, and I'm like, but sir, take that off and put your cut back on, like, you know.
Wow.
But those type of shows, I think I'm way more likely to sit there and in my day, like
Yeah.
on my drive, be like, oh wow, why did Jax do that? Like, what happened? Tara, what's happening? Where like Jersey Shore or like those actual
You just
I'm
gotta
like,
turn it off.
yeah, because I think to your point, it's so scripted. There
Yeah.
is no way that none of that actually happened. Like, get out of my face.
I mean,
like,
there might be some real stuff in between. But
I think
like,
emotions are real.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's real. I just
Yeah.
don't think that much of what is
The rest of the
physically done.
scenarios.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to go in this room. We're going to have this scenario unfold. We're going to have you two kind of talking about this. And then whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I think. It's kind of a layup a little bit. And then just see what happens. Like, you know, they're test mice or whatever. But yeah, programs, Yellowstone's fantastic. We've been waiting for 2.5 years for part 2 of season whatever we're in, 5.
I just don't think it's gonna happen.
I mean, the writer's block or the writer's strike pretty much put an end to that, I feel like, and then Kevin Costner's just done.
Yeah.
That's where my thing. I was like, how are you gonna have
when
Yellowstone
you lose,
without
like, the
Kevin
main guy.
Costner?
And they're going to do a spin-off, you know, with the Sixes Ranch
Yeah.
down
Oh,
in Texas.
are they?
And
Oh, I would like that. Is Taylor Sheridan going to be a part of it?
Taylor
though?
Sheridan's going to, yeah, he's going to
Okay.
be writing it.
Okay, cool.
What an amazing writer he is, though.
Thank you. I was like, I'll take Taylor Sheridan on that all day long.
His movies
but
are really good, too. Have you ever seen Come Hell or High Water?
I
I
haven't.
don't know.
That's a Taylor Sheridan movie. It's with Jeff Bridges and these two decent-looking lads. They're like bank robbers. Local banks, though.
That one's good.
That's a good
Oh, you've
movie.
seen
Is that the one with the backhoe where they try to like bury
Yeah.
some stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna
That
have to
one-
look.
Come
that
Hell or
one
High
is
Water.
really
Okay,
good.
I'm gonna have to look into this.
Jeff Bridges,
That one's
solid
good.
performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I like that.
You like you're feeling their situation. You understand their motivation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really
Yeah,
good
no,
flick.
I'm very interested in Taylor Sheridan. I've liked a lot of his things. I think that 1823.
Well, so yeah, he did, 1886.
Oh,
he
see,
did.
1923. That's what
Yeah.
I loved both of those, and I have
Tim McGraw.
Yeah, and I think that they were so much better than Yellowstone.
You thought they were better?
Yes.
I had a hard time saying they were good. I
Oh
don't know
my
about better.
goodness! But do you think that if you would have had them first, that you would feel the same way?
I don't know. That's hard to say because, like, going back to The Sopranos, for example, they released a movie called The Many Saints of Newark, which you need to watch after.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was really cool. But if I had seen that before The Sopranos, I don't know if it would have been as fun to lead up to it. It is a
Oh,
prequel.
Yeah.
It tells the old Sopranos story. I don't know. I'm not sure.
See, and I think that people didn't give those two enough chance because they had watched Yellowstone before. I think that if it would have came out how it was supposed to, I think that would have been one of the most successful things, like Law and Order, Criminal Minds, all of those things that are, have 1 billion seasons, General Hospital. Like, I think that they
Grey's
had.
Anatomy.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get me started on that one. But yeah, no, I think they had a lot of potential. No, they need to quit. They
Are they
need to
still
Is it
quit.
still going?
Yes, y'all.
Okay.
How many-
See,
Scrubs was good though.
What is it,
Scrubs,
like
right?
season
oh,
20?
Scrubs is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, how many seasons of Grey's Anatomy has there been?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I couldn't. Don't quote me, but it has to be at least 20 or over. Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, the only shows that's acceptable for is like South Park, which they're in like season 26. The Simpsons.
The Simpsons,
Yeah, the
they're on
Simpsons.
like 33, 34.
Yeah, because I think they came out in 89, which is when I was born. It's coming up on 35.
I would love to see Futurama come back.
Oh, we love Futurama. That's
Yeah.
a huge staple in our household.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I never
I'm
really
happy
did
for
that.
your household.
Yes.
Because that's a good staple to have.
I wasn't a Futurama girl until my girlfriend, so shout out to
Yeah.
my girlfriend because
So who's
now...
your favorite character? Bender? Oh, come on.
No.
Why not?
No,
That's a hard-
I
hard
think
no.
that I'd have to
That
go...
was a hard no.
I'd have to go with probably Nibbler
Okay.
or... No, what's the professor's name? I'm missing it.
Professor.
Oh, that's it? Oh,
Yeah.
he doesn't have a...
It's
he doesn't-
Professor.
Oh, okay. Well, then, apparently I'm very much like him, and you know
Okay.
the whole like
I
I
can
need
see
my
that.
nap, damn it, like that's me, and
Okay.
so I think I'd probably be Professor or Nibbler,
Okay.
because Nibbler's adorable, and then once he starts talking, it's over.
Yeah, we didn't even know Nibbler was like this mega smart. Have you seen all the Futurama
No,
stuff?
I haven't seen it all.
Okay.
No, I've seen some of it, but not all of it.
Yeah, no, it's good. But Nibbler is like actually this really
Mm-hmm.
smart.
I watch
alien.
old man TV.
Like what?
Like, Clarkson's Farm. That's kind of old man TV.
See, and I don't
Is
even
it?
know what that is.
That's
Yeah.
like brand new. See, I think old man TV is like the stuff that you'd find on like
C-SPAN?
Yeah, or it's like on
PBS.
TM.
Oh, I love
what,
PBS.
What is it? TCM?
TCM.
Turner Classic Movies.
Yeah, that's old man TV.
Well, yeah, and then they got like the gung ho stuff or like all the Western stuff like the older black and
yeah,
white.
see,
Like,
that's good shit though.
So I feel like that's old man.
I don't know.
Old man
See,
movies.
my little brother is 16 years old, and his favorite movie is Smokey and the Bandit.
It's a great movie.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's some classics out there.
Dukes
that have stood the
Dukes
test
of
of time.
Hazzard is amazing.
Yep.
Dazed and Confused.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, Dazed and Confused.
That's
is
where
amazing.
Matthew McConaughey's all right
Is that
came
where they
from.
came from?
Oh yes, it is. Mhm.
They're all pulling into the diner, little drive-in.
Listen, and that man stands
He's
time.
a Texas boy.
Love him.
Yeah, he's a great actor too.
And he's a really wonderful person and does a lot, and those are the kind of celebrities I'll support. If you don't do anything with your fame and your money, I don't want nothing to do with you. But if you're a pillar in your community, please keep doing what you're doing.
Let's build
Well,
a community. Whoop, whoop.
How about our boy Tom Brady? You seen the roast yet?
Oh yeah.
Of course I did.
What'd you think? Nikki Glazer killed.
Okay, so truthfully, I loved every minute of it, but here's the thing. And my dad knows this, so this is not a secret. I am not hurting any of my Patriot family members. I am not a Tom Brady fan, and I never have been.
Okay.
You told me this before. That breaks my heart.
Oh, I know. I was like, I think you know that.
I don't like that.
I can respect what he does on the football field. I can respect, that he was an amazing football player.
He's the GOAT, Erin.
Yes, but I don't like how he acts off the field.
Is he too feminine for you?
It's not that he's too cocky for me. He's too arrogant for me.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of TikTokers who try to, bring that kind of thing in there, and there's this one barber that we love. Shout out Vic Barbers, okay? But he had his dad meet him, and he was just very like, "Oh yeah, it's me. Yeah, shake my hand because I'm Tom Brady usually," and I'm like, okay, you haven't played, because look, how long has he been off the field?
This will be his second year off the field.
Oh wow, it's only been 2 years.
He went to Tampa for a while.
Well, no, I guess I thought he had left Tampa longer than that.
But then he won one with Tampa.
Yeah, the first
That
year.
that was nuts. I mean,
It's not nuts because it's Tom Brady. That man
See,
carries.
That's all really I need to hear.
That's what I'm saying. On the field, he's a
Yeah.
god. I don't disagree with that. Off the field, get off my face.
Yeah.
Or get off my face, get out of my face.
Get off my face.
The roast was great though.
Yeah, and he deserved every ounce of it, and I just wish it was actually targeted there.
So I've heard that they've removed stuff since.
They edited the Kim Kardashian booing, which was one of my favorite parts of the whole
and
show.
why?
Oh, because and
No, come on,
Did
listen.
they remove stuff?
that's what
Yeah. Yes.
I haven't had a chance
Yes.
to watch it.
I
yet.
watched it live.
I did
Yeah.
too. Yes, they did. And
Okay.
the Kim
See?
Kardashian
Okay.
thing, I think, is what I'm kind of, I don't want to say the most upset about, but I'm kind of the most upset about because I'm sure you guys didn't watch Keeping Up with Kardashians,
No.
but they have showed their ass several times on national
I just
television.
think she's kind of a trash person.
Amen.
That's just my opinion.
I'm not a huge Kar Jenner person. I love Khloe Kardashian. That's probably about it. can't
I just don't
really
know
get
enough about
behind.
him, so I don't really.
Oh.
I don't have a huge educated opinion. I just know I don't get good vibes from her for whatever reason. I'm like, why is she here?
Because she's pretty and has had a lot of work done.
I guess.
Well, no, because her parents were uber successful, and she was riding the coat-tail.
And her stepdad was a former Olympian.
You know,
Is that what happened? I don't know. I'm speaking out of line with that.
No.
I don't know.
No. I don't think that you're speaking out of line by any means.
I have no idea.
I will, I'll have your back 100%
Okay,
on what
all
you
right.
said. But I also think that it started off like that, but I think that the rest of them really have made their own name and their own way in life, whether it's, good or bad. They have, done it on their own now. But you're right that it started like that, but I don't think that anybody really thinks of Caitlyn Jenner or Kris Jenner when it comes to any of their kids anymore.
See, that's respectable, because you can, I think there's a coattail pass.
Yeah.
It's
Nepo
okay.
babies.
It's okay to ride a coattail to a certain extent. Yeah, but eventually you're riding this coattail, it starts wearing the coat down.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to hop off the coattail before you wear the coat down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, but I think both Kris Jenner and Caitlyn Jenner then just turned to their kids and started riding on their kids' coattails. Coattails is
Of
how
course.
that happened.
Yeah. And why wouldn't they at this point? They're like we talk about social media, TikTok, and now they're doing all that stuff and getting views and likes and whatnot. They're like, yeah, we'll just kick back and bring in a percentage.
Well, and what a great topic that I have been wanting to talk about with
excellent.
the two of you.
Excellent. What's going on?
TikTok. How do you guys feel about TikTok?
I support the ban.
Okay.
100, actually, are you being a smart ass?
No, I support the ban. I've never
Why?
been on TikTok. I don't like social media, so that's the main reason why I support it. And, if everything goes through with this, Biden already signed it. So by, January 1, if it's not sold, it's gone. And I'm just curious to see, I almost want it to be like a psyop. I want to see how people react to not having TikTok. What are people going to do? So for me, it's more of a curiosity thing. It makes no never mind to me. I've never been on it. I don't plan on being on it. So for me, I just want to watch from the sidelines.
How do you feel being someone who's on TikTok?
I'm new to TikTok. I would not be on social media at all if it wasn't for what we do at Discussion Combustion, Happy Friday America, Raw Talk, and also a big supporter of MTG, of course. Okay. But if it wasn't for all that kind of stuff, I really would have removed myself from social media. So that's my foundation thought process.
Okay.
And I know that I get trapped into the dopamine releases and the algorithm stuff, and it catches me, and I've wasted a lot of time on social media. So I'm also going to agree with that fact. And I believe that all social media is a platform in which bigger entities, corporations, and however that's information is funneled, but they're all propaganda devices in my mind. Okay, so it's like they're gathering my personal information. I could care less about that at that point. All of them are doing that to me, right? The big issue with TikTok is that it's owned by another power, China.
Bit something.
Yeah, so then now we're receiving China's propaganda against Americans, and that's why I believe America wants to ban it. That makes sense to me. That can make sense. I personally, I'm on either side. It's whatever. I'm kind of neutral in it.
Okay.
If I was making money off TikTok or something, my opinion would be different, because I'm they're actually paying. They're paying on the social media or whatever. So I'm kind of on the fence about it. It has its place. I've noticed TikTok is a little bit more addicting than other social media. And this is how they do it. There's one special trick. Do you know it? What I'm going to say? What the special trick is from TikTok to keep people on there and scrolling?
No, I don't think so, because I think my gut answer would be just your super personalized algorithm, because, man, that FBI agent in my phone be working on my TikTok, man.
Okay.
So, no, what is it?
No, that's no. The algorithm does work. But the one thing that I noticed that's different on TikTok than other social media is when I hit the back button to exit, TikTok plays one more video. You have to hit the back button twice to be able to like get out, or like you have to like quit the app.
It does kind of glitch a little bit. Nah, yeah.
It's like, what, you want to leave? Wait, check this out.
And it does.
No,
and
yeah.
it does.
And I don't think that's talked about enough. So
That's
what
the
a
trick
hot
with
take. No,
That's
for
good
sure.
to know. That's definitely good to know. That's almost like, are you sure you want to exit? Yes. Are you sure you want to
Yeah.
exit?
Yes.
But instead of hitting you with that, are you sure you want to exit thing? It's like, let's try you with one more dopamine receptor, and then
Right.
And is that one like the mega video? It's like, wow, where was this all night? Is that how they do it?
Maybe sometimes, yeah. And then I'll end up staying on there though, like because when you're aware of stuff and trying to change your life, you start seeing more. And so, like, I would just be lying if I sat here and said that I don't see social media abuse on my end.
Yeah.
Like, I do it, right? And I'm trying to work on it, but that's the thing, you know? And so I think it's one of the most addictive ones, like, because the algorithm is good, or FBI agent, whoever's running that thing.
Yeah, Mr. FBI.
Yeah, but whether if
We
it gets
named
banned
ours.
or not, like, it's whatever. They're all just propaganda machines and, like,
My
a
instinct
waste of
tells me
time.
it's not going to be banned. I think something's going to happen between now and then. But what do you think about TikTok?
So I don't think it should be banned. I think that, of course, as we were talking about earlier, that negative or social media, reality TV, blah, 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 creates so much negativity. So I could give you 1,000 cons on TikTok, but I think that the immense amount of jobs that it made during COVID and a lot of things for Americans specifically, like, we don't even have to talk about the rest of the world, like the content creation part of it, because I've been really proud as being like an adult with this app, because I think if I was like in high school or something, I'd have some pretty raunchy For You pages, but I have really wholesome and just really cool For You pages. And then like it gives a lot of voices to a lot of people. Oh, like we were talking about earlier, I would know nothing about Jelly Roll or his life without TikTok. Nothing. And now him and his wife are some of my biggest inspirations in life, like genuinely. And so I think that it was a really beautiful place to be brought. I think that there's improvements that should be made. So should there be improvements instead of a ban? Yes, absolutely, but I don't think it should be taken away. And I think it's a really cool app. And if you had to tell me as a 25-year-old person to get rid of all my social media and pick one, well, now that I say that out loud, I would have
TikTok.
Well, I'd have a really hard one between Snapchat and TikTok. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
I still don't understand Snapchat after 10 years being on it.
I was about to be like, you have a Snapchat? Of
do.
course I have you on Snapchat. I don't know why I said that.
Them.
Yeah.
And it's all predictable shit. It's all me doing this or whatever.
Well, when you go to the races, it just makes me so jealous. Why do you not understand Snapchat?
I know how to post on there, obviously, and communicate with people, but like there's so many layers to it that I just always feel like someone's showing me something I never knew about.
Well, I think that also, so I've had Snapchat since I was in like 8th grade.
Wow. Okay.
So that is, quite a long time. And I'm glad that I'm old enough now to say that, it's been quite a long time. But it wasn't what it used to be. Like when I first had Snapchat, it really was like that. Take a picture, it's, gone in 10 seconds, and that's how you talk to people. I can kind of understand how you feel about it now, because it is kind of so complex for what it started out as. But
what is complex? What is complex about it?
Because I think that, like, why do you have to have like a little Bitmoji that you have to dress up? Why do you have to have wallpapers attached to people's things? I don't know. It's all these things that I'm sure you guys,
like setting up a profile.
Yeah, kind of.
That's like a profile stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then people get really into it. Like they'll like show them driving a car or something if they're.
Oh yeah, no, my Bitmoji is I'm in a alien ship and I have like a cow, because cows are my favorite animal. So I have like a cow getting abducted from my spaceship. Oh yeah, no, it's a big deal.
That's what I mean. There's like a lot of layers to it, and then like just fundamental uses like replaying something. I'm like, it's like hold here to replay. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
One of the layers that I learned was like if you swipe to the left, then it locks it when you're recording.
You told me that.
And if you like go up, it'll like zoom in.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until more recently.
Zoom out.
Yeah, that stuff's helpful.
It's like a thing that you learn. It's like a fine wine. It gets better with time.
Oh, absolutely. But I think that that's part of social media in general. I think if you let it be
stagnant,
or just what you want it to be. I think that after middle school and high school, I got really good at being careful about A, what I post on social media, B, how I feel about what people say on social media, because why do I care? You know, and I think that's why I support TikTok so much, is I think I'm more on there to watch other people of the LGBTQ plus community, you know, talk about their stories. And with Pride coming up, I see a lot of parents, you know, with their signs being like, if you weren't accepted, I'm your mom now, come give me a hug. So my mom really likes TikTok too, so I'll send her that TikTok and be like, please do this at Pride. And you know, it's cool.
Probably get a bunch of hugs that way.
Oh, and she love my mom, and I said this when I was here a year ago, but she was like, oh yeah, I'll get a whole shirt made, I'll have a huge sign, like that's the first thing that I'll go to do. And I feel like I don't see that on
Other
Snapchat and you know, Facebook, Instagram, but that also has to do with you don't see the whole world on those other platforms where you get TikTok.
More isolated algorithms, I guess. I don't know enough about TikTok. Like, there's got to be haters over there too, is there not?
Oh, of course.
Like, is there room for comments, or is it not like that?
Oh, yeah. But you can, so when you post a TikTok, you can either turn your comments off or turn them, or keep
kind of like
them
our
on.
YouTube.
I hope my comments are on. I don't even know.
We fought with YouTube for 4 years to have our
nice.
comments back on. 4 years. We had ours shut down by YouTube.
Oh, YouTube shut your comments down?
For a warning. So thank you, YouTube. You really tested our patience there. We love you. We love working with you. Please don't do that again.
I was like, I couldn't even begin to see why that would happen for you guys. I understand why that happens on TikTok. I couldn't even begin to understand that.
We were talking adult content and forgot to click the 18
plus button. Yeah. And there was some marijuana smoking happening on that episode.
Yeah.
Oh, copy.
And then they were like,
I mean, we made a mistake there.
We did, and we fucked up.
And that's where,
that's
again,
okay.
and that's
we
a con.
We learned from it.
And that's a con about TikTok that I think is I don't think that they regulate enough. And I think that that's where Congress was trying to go with that. But to the algorithm part, Congress, if your entire FYP page is a bunch of shady shit, what you looking at, you know? Because that's not what my FYP page is. My FYP page is a bunch of old people getting walked across the street by a 6-year-old. You know, like, why wouldn't you want to see that?
Right.
So I don't understand that argument that's happening, but truth be told, I don't know enough about the algorithm thing. And I don't
think anybody does.
I don't want to know.
And they keep that secret, and they're always changing it.
Yeah, and they're going to continue to do that for sure. And then, like, when it came to the bill in Congress, they kind of snuck it in their back door into the Ukraine spending bill. So in order for that to pass, the TikTok ban had to pass with it.
Oh, okay.
So it was one of those, you know, kind of earmarked pork barrel. Just stick that right in this bill.
That's shady.
That's what happens in American politics.
Do you guys think that social media, like, if you took away all social media, do you really think that there would be, like, some significant positive change in the world?
I think it would be.
You do?
I think it would be a slow process. I think at first extreme boredom would kick in.
Okay.
Which would then drive people to try to create something new around social media, or something new, some sort of social engagement. I think would be, you know, a competition for to innovate on. But then hopefully, I think what we're both hoping for in that scenario, which will never happen, social media's not going anywhere. Who's kidding?
It's not.
But if it did, it would maybe force people to be creative again in other ways, like old school art.
Oh,
and
for sure.
Social groups and gatherings. Stapling things to telephone poles like we used to.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's dating myself.
Yeah.
No,
I
not
mean,
at all.
honestly, it all worked before, and there's a lot of benefits to social media. Like we honestly, and we walk this line all the time of where it's like it's beneficial, but if you're using it right, and all these other ways, because it's easy to unintentionally fill your thread with absolute garbage.
Absolutely.
Like it's easy to unintentionally do that, and I was doing it for the longest time too until I realized, like, okay, intentionally like some other ones, intentionally unfollow things that I don't like to see. And then now I get more like cat and puppy videos, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
Those are fun.
If I'm just dealing with that for a moment.
Right.
But it is a distraction. So if social media left, then people would be more apt to living now, and instead of living through this like social media outlet and window.
I wonder if that is a generational difference, because my biggest part of social media is thinking that it's such a connectional outlet. Like we were talking about, the fact that you guys have international followers. Like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. The fact that, we're learning. I think I learn a lot about different cultures and stuff that I would have never have known otherwise, being a Colorado native in downtown Denver, And so it's like, where do I find that then as easy? Like, of course, can I go and venture out and I can give you those answers too, but where do I find that at?
Like magazines and the newspaper.
But but doesn't that go to your propaganda thing? Because isn't that
everything? It's always gonna be there.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just more immediate. It's more in our face all the time with social media.
It's a blessing and a curse.
And it could be more tailored on social media because it's your own personal algorithm, opposed to like in a magazine. It's like just released to a public.
Yeah.
It's not tailored.
I think it's a double-edged sword. I think there's a lot of good that came out of social media and still continues to come out of social media. Obviously, it helps us drive traffic to these episodes and stuff. So it's like there is good that comes out of connecting family members, sharing pictures, watching people grow up from coast to coast. Yeah. There's a lot of great things that come out of it. But, of course, we're looking at the negativity part of it and how that's kind of overshadowing. It's almost like a mental health experiment because we really don't know what the long-term effects of this are yet.
Well, in the mental health part of that, I can give you that all day long. I mean, I think that is a super huge con in any part of social media, and I think generationally it gets worse too. I think that the more that kids grow up with social media, the worse that gets. I mean, I think my generation is one of like the starting really like rough ones.
Because you were a kid when it was available.
Because there was a lot. I think one of the biggest things that I endured during high school, and not me personally, but people around me, was the nudes thing. And that getting sent around. And I remember going...
send nudes, please? Or whatever?
Well, yeah. Like that send nudes. Yeah, no. Or...
Because that was like a whole meme, like send nudes.
Or nudes getting leaked.
Okay.
From like celebrities?
No. Like
normal people.
No, you would be in your high school and like this girl sent whatever to who she thought that she liked.
Old for that.
Yeah, and then now all of a sudden you have 4 high schools that have your nudes.
I gotcha.
And that's something that, please God, I wish that that never have happened or kids didn't grow up with. And that's hard because I'm getting ready to be a teacher. I'm getting ready to, hopefully shape young minds and all of that. And that's the first thing that I'm going to tell all of my kids is like, do not get on that until you are like 16, 17. Like you're feeling good about yourself, which at 25, I rarely feel good about myself. So, I mean, come on, that's hard to say. But, you have to have a little bit more of some grounding in yourself before you can watch that, because that can tear you apart. There's a Emily Osment movie that I believe it's called Cyberbully, but I'm missing if I'm incorrect or not. But that's a beautiful movie on the perfect way to go about how kids get affected by that. And it's hard 3 adults having a conversation about social media, right? If you had a 10 to 17-year-old in here talking about social media, that's a completely different story. And those kids get broken and they get, just changed. And I can't imagine a world where I want a child that I know to feel like that because of that. So I would rather us just teach people about it correctly. I'd rather me have my own kid and be like, hey, babe, you can have all the social media you want, but let me show you what to do. And when you see this, come to me and we're done, you know?
Yeah, I think that it's all about education, of course. The filth's going to be out there. The dark arts, they're lingering. They're going to get you, So it's I guess, like you said, learning how to compartmentalize that, learning how to navigate that a bit. But I also wonder, too, like you'd mentioned 10 to 17-year-old, do you think that everything being on social media and them learning and interacting through it, do you feel like that affects or helps their ability to sit down and have a conversation like this?
I think that depends on the child, and I think that depends on their home life with it. I think that me and all of my siblings, we had all the access to social... Well, I wouldn't say all the access. We were, our parents were good at making sure things weren't happening. But, we had enough access to that where I don't think that stunted any of us. But I think that, like, my little brother, he's 16, and I do think that is a little hard. But I think that comes more from not knowing how to separate from your phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Having to have that right there.
The binky.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. But I think that then each generation has that. You
Well,
know?
I mean, we were seeing kids flip out when Xbox One was around, and like the dad, like there was like this video, the dad like got all of his Xbox games, and then like put it in the yard, and he had the driving lawnmower. And the kid all came out. Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, Dad, don't do this. He's like freaking out, and the dad drives over all the stuff with the driving lawnmower.
Yeah.
And the kid's freaking out, like losing his mind. Like I feel like it's kind of similar to that. Like just like anything that you spend too much time doing, like that becomes like your routine. And honestly, it kind of becomes who you are. Like we are what we do and consume all the time. Yeah. Right, so if you're just constantly on, like, do you even know yourself if you're always looking at other people's lives?
Right.
And like, so.
Or do you even know yourself if you're looking at yourself through
other people's eyes,
or Snapchat, or
the filters?
Exactly.
Oh, that's
the filters,
true.
That's a good point.
The angles, the certain ways, and I think that hits a certain age range different than it does other people. I think us younger people have a harder time with that because we want that acceptance. We want that, like we're perfect.
A little bit of validation.
Yeah, absolutely. Because validation goes so far.
If it's authentic validation, right? Like, so not just saying it to say it, right? Like a lot of folks say, hey, how are you? Good, how are you? Just out of habit, right? But are they actually good? Is it authentic?
Yeah, but I think that's also hard to, like, define between the two, you know, and, like, or decipher. There it is. Decipher between the two and figure out, you know, if it really is genuine or if you really care. Yeah. Because there's a lot of times I think that I've also been in retail and stuff so long too that I'm so good at just having mindless conversation that I don't care. Like, you know, like, good, you're good too, cool, you know, me too, brother, you know. We just move on, you know. Yeah, I don't care, but I also feel like I get that way the older I get too. I don't think if you were having a conversation with 20 or 21-year-old me, I don't think I would feel the same way now as 25-year-old me. So
we continue to grow. Yeah, I can say something. I was an asshole when I was 21. I just was like always trying to argue with people. Everything was an argument. You know,
I was a cocky little fuck,
and I was looking for it though. Like, oh, you don't believe what I believe? Well, let's go. It's like, well, what good is that?
Yeah.
Well, it's you, because I think it's you arguing with yourself. You're like,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, because you don't believe me, so maybe I shouldn't believe me.
Yeah, let me put on this front and stand behind this thing I don't even know if I understand completely, and argue about it for no reason. Yeah. That's basically what it was.
Yeah, it's like being too proud. Well, and I really don't like the filters. Like, can I just kind of express?
Yeah, let's talk about the filters.
How much I don't like filters, and I honestly think that, like, Snapchat or Instagram, like, they got like a default filter that they act like there's no filter, but there's literally a filter
like, messes with the eyes
on their default. Like, it's so subtle that, like, you don't really see it.
You're smiling like you know exactly which one we're talking about.
Well, no, I'm smiling because I'm over here like I'm so pro filters. Like every Snapchat that I sent before this podcast, there was a filter on there, and I've got makeup on. I look great. I don't need a filter on, but there's just, I don't know, there's something about it that when you're doing that kind of pictorial of what I think social media is, you want to look perfect. Like, I don't care that, like, you guys see me without a filter and you guys know that I look, you know, that I look just the same with a filter. Like, I don't care about that. I care about that my Snapchat or my whatever has that perfect look and that it's done right. Like, you were talking about my Havasu trip. All of those Havasu trips all have filters on them. And we all look the same without the filters on them. So
then why even do the filter in the first place?
That's a good question.
Because it does. It enhances that little bit where both of you both have beautiful blue eyes. Okay? I have this one Snapchat filter that I use constantly all the time, and it's literally just like that slightest enhancement where, and especially like you with your shirt and stuff right now, it would just bring out that blue in your shirt to bring out that blue in your eyes. So it's just that little enhancement, you know, in a photo that I think that I'm real big on, that like twinkle in your eye in person kind of thing where you can see that when you're talking to me, but you're not talking to me when I'm Snapchatting you. So I want you to feel that when I'm sending you that.
What about videos? I mean, you're on video right now without a filter, so I guess that answers that. But
yeah, but I think that's why I also spent 2 hours on my makeup before I came here too. So I think it's that built-in filter too. I don't know. I think that, I know you were talking about that you feel that things are neutral and not gender and all of that. I do think that that's different for maybe I'll just speak on me as a woman.
Well,
I couldn't, even as comfortable as I am with the two of you, I could not show up here without makeup on, a 2-hour-long outfit set up. Like, I couldn't do that.
Well, but that's just you, like, you know, that's how you present yourself to the world. You take care of yourself. You want to go out and look your best. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I think that's how I was raised, too, that you don't go anywhere without looking a certain type of way, which she's going to love that I talk about because she watches your guys' podcast and she loves the two of you. But my mom hates that I go out in public in sweatpants and stuff like that because I don't care, but at the same time when I'm in sweatpants and stuff, I'm still matching, or I'm still like kind of coordinated in a way. And I think both of my parents kind of got that into me, where you do have to look a certain way in public, where I think with my kids I don't think I'm going to do that. I think that puts a lot of pressure on you
to look a certain way.
Yeah, please brush your hair, please be clean, be, you know, just the basic hygienics of yourself.
Oh yeah.
But don't feel like you have to put on, you know, jeans and a t-shirt or something to go to the grocery store. If you want to go to the grocery store in your sweats and a hoodie, that's okay. Yeah. You know, but yeah, please brush your hair, you know, all that things. But I think that just creates so much pressure, but it goes back to everything that we just got done talking about with social media and everything. It's pressure to be one type of way.
And where's that pressure coming from? And is it truly a you thing, or is it an expectation that society has?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because are you doing it for yourself or you know, your viewers, followers, your parents, or whatever? And oftentimes, like we just alluded to, you know, especially with social media, folks do it for the attention, for the likes, for the clicks, for whatever, right? And so are they doing it for themselves? Kind of the same argument was happening about me at 21 arguing with people. Was I doing it for, like, did I believe what I was even arguing about? Was I conditioned into that? I don't know.
Yeah.
But okay, so back to the filters.
Yeah.
If you're using filters,
yeah.
Okay, and then you look at yourself in the mirror, and I'm not necessarily asking you. It's like an in general question.
No, I know where you're going with
but
this.
But like, you know, then does it subconsciously, like, you feel like you don't look good enough when you look at yourself in the mirror because you're looking at yourself through the filters all the time? Like, is that not an effect? I don't know.
I'm sure that just depends on who you are as a person. I feel like that has to do with insecurity levels. I feel like I've had enough things said about me where you can't really say anything more mean to me. So if you want to say something when I don't have a filter on, like, good for you. Yeah. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Wait until you hear what I say about
myself. Yeah. Or, you know, wait until you hear what, like, my siblings have said to me, or, like, you know, like, you can't hurt me any more than my siblings have. Okay, that's the sibling love. You can't do that.
See, that's the right mindset, though.
Amen. But
that's Tom Brady roast type of shit.
I think that that's dependent on the person and how you feel about yourself. I think that if you're already not feeling good about yourself and then you choose to, you know, do that, then yeah, that's a harmful thing.
Because the filters make me feel extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, the only time I've ever been on a filter is like when I'm in a picture with a female or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, the filter's on," or they're like doing a video or something.
Well, they affect people differently, and this is where I will go to be like, I'm the first one to think that everybody is the same, because you strip all of us down, we all look the same. Okay, I think all of us are the same, but there's a huge but there. So women wise, so Snapchat is a great example where those filters will hit men differently than they will hit women.
It's interesting.
And it's a huge fact, and I'll pull out my phone and I can prove it right now, you know. And so that's where I feel like that can be hard. I think that also hits age different. Again, my mom is a great example. I take all of my photos with her on Snapchat with filters, and she does not look the same in those filters that I do. And that sucks.
Yeah,
because I'm like, I'm looking great, but you look really weird. And so that's where I'll go on.
Does she agree with you on that? Like, is she like, I don't like the way I look in this?
Oh yeah, she all the time is like, can you just take that off? But my mom is also a very secure person.
Yeah,
my mom knows that she's a beautiful human being. My mom knows that she has a lot to offer. My mom knows that she doesn't need a filter because at 45 she looks 25. Like, my mom knows that. And so that goes to that. And I think what I also know from knowing the two of you is you should especially feel like that, because you're like, F social media anyway, get out of my face. You're a handsome man. You don't need a filter anyway, you know? And so that...
Thanks, Mama.
Got you, because, you know, y'all take care of yourselves and you do what you can to present yourself the way that you want to.
Yeah.
I feel like filters help you to present the way that you want to when you don't have to do that yourself. And then that's an unfair game to play, because that's where it goes on in the mirror. Oh, I can put I see that I have that and I can do it, but why am I not putting that effort in? So then you go all, oh, I'm not doing that for myself. Well, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fair.
Yeah, it's all interesting, isn't it? It kind of reminds me of like why I like sending our bloopers, or like when we fuck up on Happy Friday or something, or just being dumbasses, like when we're recording ourselves on the weekends or whatever and showing like real stuff.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of it, and I try to be, just speaking for me personally, as authentic and raw as I can, on the show, off the show. This is it.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Raw Talk, though, because
Raw
that's
Talk.
the coolest part about what you do, is that you are genuinely just sitting there like, hey, this is what's up, this is what's happening. But that's where I was, talking to you guys about the TikTokers that I've been following and their podcasts that they're doing. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just sitting down and being like, hey, I'm done making this TikTok skit. Can we just talk about what happened in the grocery store for a second? That is so, like, that's what I want to see. Like, because that's real. That's honest. Like, unlike a year ago where we had kind of more of a topic I was going on, this is very like, hey, it's 3 people that know each other and we're just Wednesday night meeting up, having a good time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the conversations that should be happening, and that's the kind of way that people should be presenting it.
Well, and it's fun to talk about like layers of things, because then you can like really get these different perspectives on it. And and that's the thing about these type of conversations in the same room, is it's okay for us to have different perspectives, and none of us are like really disliking each other over it. Like, it's more, you almost can gain more respect when you open up your mind to hearing what other people have to say.
Yeah, because you can be like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. I am a huge person for devil's advocacy for that.
Yeah, perspective.
Because perspective is huge in my life. And I think I do it a lot more when I'm fighting with people. My girlfriend is a great example. Her and I will be in an argument, and as much as I think I'm right, or I like, feel valid in myself, I'm over here like, okay, wait, how was she thinking about that? How does she feel? Oh, that's probably how she took that. Okay, let's take a step back and let's re-navigate.
Is that in the moment, or is that like after?
I both.
Yeah.
I'm really good at doing that in the moment. But I think a lot of it comes more after, and I think that's also with everybody too. I'm really good at still being able to be like, hey, I see what you're doing, but it's that but. But is such a dangerous word when you're talking about feelings and stuff.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, because you could be like, hey, Erin, I don't like the way you came at me earlier. And I could be like, oh my gosh, Kevin, I'm so sorry that I did that to you, but this is why I did that.
Right.
It doesn't matter the but why I did that. Yeah.
Well, it's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It matters that I made you feel some type of way, and I think that that's not something that's practiced enough. I think all of us know that. I just don't think it's actually practiced enough.
That's a good point. Yeah, because I think everybody always wants to naturally defend their position on whatever it is, whether you're in the wrong or not, and someone calls you out on it. It's like, yeah, I fucked up there, but I felt like this at the time. There's always that justification for why it happened.
I was guilty for that today.
I've done it many
times.
times.
I was trying to throw some butts out there for some work stuff where honestly, like, less could have been more in what I said, and I probably said too much in a chat. And then I was like, but that's just an excuse. And honestly, I just need to tighten up and do it better. Yeah.
Well, and excuses they're so dangerous. They hurt you. And I feel like also this day and age is so scared to be honest. I had said to you earlier, I don't want your PC answers. I don't want PC. I want honesty. I'm so sorry if our honesty hurts you because it's not PC, but that's not what honesty is. And I'm not that, red-blooded American, but, that was, I feel like, the point of America, was that you could go in and say what you mean and live by that. And that is not a thing anymore. You have to be so careful. And I'm in an interracial relationship. I'm gay. Like, I'm all of the topics on why people think they have to be PC. And I'm like, stop. Ew. Yeah. No. Like, it's okay. Like, you don't.
That's refreshing. We need more of it.
Yeah. And at I feel like, again, my age group. How many people of my age do I feel like I know that, don't care about the PC thing? I feel like nobody. Other than my friend group, thankfully, because that's all why we're all friends. But Why? Everybody's going to get their feelings hurt no matter what.
Yeah.
You hurt your own feelings. You hurt somebody else's feelings. Like, it's not that it doesn't matter, but why are you making that your whole life?
Well, being offended is subjective too, right?
Yeah.
Because like what offends you might not offend me, and vice versa, whatever.
Absolutely.
And people like try to throw a blanket over all of it. Like, this is all offensive over here. Get rid of it. Throw it behind the barn. Bury it. And it's like, well, no, not necessarily. Like, you're picking and choosing and kind of cherry picking through what you can and can't say, and what's offensive and what isn't. What's a joke and what's real.
Yeah.
Like everything is taken exactly at face value. Like the Google voice is reading it with no context, with no voice inflections. It's just black and white.
And it was, and I'm very young, and I'll own that, but I feel like I'm even old enough to recognize that it didn't used to be like that. I feel like you could say things, and there were things that could get away, but to play devil's advocacy, there's a lot of older movies that I super love that I watch nowadays that I'm like, oh,
that wouldn't be around now. I might say that all the time.
Well, and there's a part of me that feels like it shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Like I can play that, like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't have.
That one went too far.
Yeah, and
But I mean, society had its eras, though, too.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
And, like, different rights. And there's places in the world where, there's still not the amount of rights that we have in the United States.
Yep.
And the thing, okay, so this is the not PC part. Is like, people getting all offended about opinions, in my opinion, is weak. Like, if you're upset
Absolutely.
that somebody else has a different opinion, and then you're going to sit here and focus your energy and time being upset, doing research to why this upsets you, and then you keep watching stuff that's, like, you're perpetuating, like, this drama. And people do it for a bunch of different reasons, so it's not one particular crowd, but, like, you should be definitive enough as an individual and like confident enough as an individual where you could put down social media for a month and feel fine. You could sit in a room quietly for 5 minutes without music or anything and be happy with who you are with your thoughts. Like, and so it's just, where's the focus going? And I believe that there is like I talk about propaganda and the fear mongering and all this type of stuff all the time, but I do believe that it makes our nation weaker, America weaker as a nation, when we are divided over these civil issues that really are, who's pushing these issues? Is it really, are trans people really pushing all the trans issues when there's like a small percentage of people, or is it like these other areas that are trying to push this and make it look like there's this division when really that division doesn't exist? It might in some people, but not in the big way that they make it appear to be. So I know I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole rant there.
No, but
there's
that's,
like layers to like how I think about like.
That's exactly how I feel, is that other people that want to push their own agenda, making their opinion that's wrong, they're gonna push and be like, oh well, those people are doing A, B, C, and D when those people did. So I love that you said that, because I've never heard anybody else say that. So I'm so glad that you said that, because I agree with that full-heartedly, that it's made up. It's you're doing it on purpose. And what happened to when all of that was happening and it wasn't like that, and we were all doing just fine.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because now it's almost cultish, or pick a side and you have to stick behind it, and you can't veer from it. And if you don't believe exactly this, then you're not a part of this side anymore. Yeah. It's too dividing. It's too polarizing. There's too much anger. There's not enough conversations.
Well, then you get looped into all these other things like, personal, and I won't like name names here, but I didn't want to take any more COVID-19 vaccinations. Because I feel like it was a waste of time. It was fear-mongered, and like they were just profiting off these fucking swabs and shit. And like you could never get the same result. Like you had to do it multiple times to like, so like why am I, they're so expensive. But I'm like, I don't want to do that. And then I don't like Trump as a person and this and that, but then I get looped in, oh, you must be a Trump supporter then if you don't want to do that kind of stuff. And it's like, wait, because I have an opinion about something else, then all of a sudden
you're grouping
I'm looped.
Me in.
Yeah, even though that's nowhere close to where I stand. And so it's funny how people like try to segregate like how they think people's opinions are based off of one opinion. If you have one opinion, then you must have these other aligning opinions, and like that's not always true.
Yeah. I'm in that box all the time. People just look at me as a NASCAR fan, cowboy boots, like, oh, this guy must think this way and act that way.
Oh,
and
goodness,
Been
no.
that way for a long time.
Being a proud member of all of the things that people probably look at you and think you stand against. No, sir. One of the biggest supporters I have in my entire life. No. Coolest bean in the burrito. That's for sure for you, sir.
Coolest bean in the burrito.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one before.
Shout out to my sister Carissa for that one.
I might have to use that one.
Oh, please do. I use it all the time. No, you are. And I think, but that's also outward opinion or
Right.
like outward appearance. Sorry, and I hate that. I just wish people could be who they were. People minded their business, and it was just that. But that's never going to be the case. But I'm so happy that this is what this podcast is turning into because I wanted this for my second time around. It's just like a hot take thing.
No, great. It's all great content.
Yeah.
And it's all about important things that affect everybody. Daily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the conversation. I mean, that's what it is. And like you alluded to, it's almost nostalgic to listen to real conversations because everything's so scripted, fake, planned. Like, you guys seen these reels and these videos that come up that are like 18 minutes long, and they're designed to make you watch them for 18 minutes. And it's just something like as simple as somebody jumping off a roof into a pool or something.
Yeah.
And like you can tell it's staged. It's all acting. It's horrible.
It's
and
so
I'll
much
just
lead
scroll
up.
at the end and be like, that was anyone that sat through that
Royal
was
waste of time.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I guess
Yeah.
you can call that clickbait.
Yeah.
But they're trying to push these videos off, and they make me cringe almost like AI does for you.
One that
We haven't even gotten into that yet.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you're not a fan of the AI.
I mean, look, we could, but there was the one video that was like that where they had all these matches that they were gonna light,
I've seen that one.
and then they just like didn't light it for like they like kept relighting matches to make it look like they were about to light the
And they never do.
thing of match, and it's just like y'all are fucking wasting my time.
See, and TikTok is really the only platform that I'll sit there and like scroll through content like that. And I'm the first one that I'm reporting your video for being uneducational on anything. Because why? Because also what I'm not going to do is being the first one to support that TikTok has created a lot of, financial support for a lot of different people and jobs and blah, 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 blah. Okay. If you're doing stuff like that, I'm not gonna give you that creator content that creator fund that we were talking about. I'm not gonna give you that, and so that's not fair. So I'm the first one to do that, and whether right or wrong, no, get out, no. And why are you using that when I could be having teachers telling me beautiful facts that I need to know about my career later on?
So you basically report it as like, this is useless,
Yeah,
dross.
yeah,
it's no
because
good.
what's the point? And you're
And then
not.
what happens though?
Well, truth be told, I have no idea because once you hit that report and you give your thing, you have no idea.
Okay, I'm just curious what happens next.
Oh yeah, no, have no idea.
You probably don't see it anymore on your feed.
Yeah, and I mean there has been a couple ones like there's a certain very famous person that I feel like no matter how much I say not interested or report or whatever, oh my god,
Deal with that all the
24/7.
time. I've seen it on Instagram too. Like, have you ever tried to unfollow? Because we got like all these bots on there at one point, and we were trying to go through and clean that up, and like eventually it got to the point where it was like, you've reached the limit for who you can unfollow for the day. Like
I forgot about that.
They were micromanaging how we controlled who was following us, and then you still had to go through the rigmarole of when you did hit unfollow. It's like, well, why? Content's irrelevant. Don't want to see it anymore.
I've never
just don't
seen
like
that.
Yeah, so
it's a meta thing.
So sorry that you guys went through that. That's
so it
awful.
Was, it was ridiculous because it was really quick and easy to unfollow somebody. It was like a 2-click unfollow, and then I did this for like hours for like a week, and then they changed it to like a 2 to 3 step verification that I wanted to unfollow. So then they made it more difficult to I forgot that even happened.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Why are they always trying to suck away all of our time and shit?
Yeah, because
they like trying to take it.
I think that they're hoping that maybe if we just spend all the time on the internet that we stop hating each other, and then I just feel like all the time we spend on the internet makes us hate each other more.
Yes.
So I'm gonna help transition off of the internet topic. I came here for another thing.
Okay.
What did you guys want to be when you grow up? Because I'm getting ready to fulfill my childhood dream, and I just really want to know what you guys wanted to be when you grew up.
A lot of people already know this about me. I wanted to be a meteorologist.
Really?
When kids were watching Nickelodeon, I was watching the Weather Channel.
Okay.
And I wanted to be that guy, point at things. I was the high school meteorologist. Shout out Kingswood Regional. Y'all remember you got the report from me.
Yeah.
KBAT's weather report, and I still do it. I'm the Happy Friday chief meteorologist over there,
Yep,
and I ended up being on TV, so it ended up working out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Art?
I mean, the youngest, I'm going to just say I wanted to be a rapper.
I pegged that from you, man.
I wanted to rap, and like I feel like I do have lyrical talent.
I would agree with that.
But I don't exploit it right now. And the podcasting does kind of scratch that same itch of being able to deliver a message to help people. That's like why I wanted to make music when I was a kid. But Tupac was a huge inspiration, how the storytelling that he was able to do. So that's really what I wanted to do. And I've kind of fulfilled my dream a little bit because when you're talking, you're like, hey, yeah, let's rap about it.
Yeah.
And so that's like we're kind of rapping about stuff right now.
Oh, I love
so
that.
That's what I wanted to be. So a teacher for you then?
Yeah, or just working with kids in general before I get into that. I think it's so cool to be sitting before two people that basically got to do that. So congratulations to both of you. I think that's so neat.
Thank you.
So working with kids is basically, all right, let's be honest here because I have a lot of people that I make sure follow the both of you. So they will be seeing this. My first two goals were to be a marine biologist and a tattoo artist. I think I have fulfilled the tattoo artist part by at least getting tatted a bunch, and I have a couple of like my own art on me, so like that's
awesome.
fine. But I think the kid thing happened when I started going through my own trauma as a kid, and I realized that my siblings were kind of the only reason I got through a lot of things. So I wanted to be that person for kids. I wanted to be what my siblings were for me growing up. And so now I'm getting to, I was working at a daycare for 10 years on and off. Like I would go do other things, but I would immediately go back and then I would be there for a couple of years. And I just recently ended that, and now I'm continuing my journey on going to school and being a nanny, so I'm kind of just like keeping that going. But my ultimate goal is to own a full compound where I have a school and I have like a live-in like boarding center and like a farm and a garden and stuff. But I want those families to be specifically at risk. I want homeless families. I want families of addiction and abuse, and I want families that they can't get childcare. They can't get that support where they feel like they have to give up their child to foster care. I want them to be able to sign over guardianship to me until me and the appropriate lawmakers, or however that's supposed to work appropriately, can get your child back instead of going through really the law about it, because that's so hard. I feel like parents that end up losing their child because of addiction, once they've gotten clean and put in so much work to get clean, they can't get their kids back. And that's all their kids want. I am a child of addiction. And all I want is that parent to be out of addiction. And, that's what that kid wants. So why would you take that away from them? And I want to create more of a safe space. I also want a space where kids can openly talk about that. Come into school that day and be like, hey, this is what happened at my house last night. And then that specific teacher is like, oh my gosh, when I was 8, this happened to me. Let me help you. You want to go color in the corner with me, and then we can start on our reading. It's huge for me. And I have an aunt who had a Montessori school for 40 years, something like that, in Texas. Wow. And so she's a huge person in childcare. And so I had a whole 2-hour meeting with her, like, hey, this is my vision board. This is what I think would be really cool. And she's like, oh, that's a stellar idea. Like, you're on it, kid. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, keep going. And I think that the more and more that I get older, and the more and more that I get that opportunity to be around kids and around families that are in certain situations like that, I'm like, here, you have support, you have love, it's not the end of the road. It's gonna get better. And that's not only important for the child to know, but I think that's important for the family and the parent to know that you being a parent with an addiction does not make you less of a parent. You are still an amazing mom. You are still an amazing dad, no matter if you have an addiction, because I know truly in the bottom of your heart that you put your kids first and you try your hardest. And I think that that's not said enough to parents with addiction. And I would love to be that space that not only gave your kid the validation of feeling like you did something in the house that made them feel some kind of way with your addiction, but then coming to you and being like, hey, I get it, man. That's hard. I'm so sorry that happened to you as well. I think it's important to have a safe space for both people. Yeah,
that's a perspective I haven't heard too often from the child with an addicted parent and how that is. And so definitely an important mission. Yeah. All these kind of goals, like there's always little steps. What are you working on right now to kind of move toward that?
So I think basically mainly is my educational standpoint. I'm in college right now to get my early childhood education degree and all of that, just to kind of be able to actually like legally be able to run a center or anything like that.
Like counseling you have to get into, I'm sure, first, and like because you can't just jump all the way in to, like, there has to be layers to getting involved.
Yeah, so like a lot of it really does come from just like basic education, unfortunately, which I kind of hate, truthfully, that you can have somebody that just does basic education and then goes into at-risk populations like that. I don't particularly love that that's what you can do, but that really is what you can do. I think that people like me who grew up like that create a greater value in that kind of field, because we can come in and do the same thing that those teachers are doing, but actually create a perspective that those other teachers didn't have. But I think that's also the difference between people that are going into straight like education, so like K through 12, compared to people who like me want to create a center or something like that. Like that's completely different. And so for me personally, it's just furthering my education because I am still so young, and that's just requirements you have to have. And then just continuous just being honest about my own personal experience. I think I was so scared to tell people that this is what happened to me as a kid because of addiction, or this is what me and my siblings had to go through, or this is the way that I look at things now because of what I saw. Like, I think I was so scared to be honest about that. And now I'm like, why? Because I wouldn't be the person that I am without all of that. And not to toot my own horn, but I am extremely proud of the person that you guys have sitting in front of you right now. Because, thank you. Because there's no way that I would be that person without all that trauma. I hate that I went through all that, but I wouldn't be who I am. And I have a lot of families that come to me and be like, you helped my kid in a way that I didn't think that I could touch my kid. And I'll sit here and cry on your podcast, so I won't go too farther.
No,
but
it's
cool.
That's incredible. Thanks for sharing that. And you're kind of, now going through all that and becoming the person you are now. You're now fulfilling your purpose by going towards this compound. I like this idea of the compound with the garden and maybe some farming and some education and a safe place. That's not really something I've ever heard of, and I think that's going to be tremendously successful.
I think it's fun to think about somewhere where everybody knows that they're safe, and everybody knows that it doesn't matter if it's just for the day for a school program, like, regular school, or it's, hey, this kid needs somewhere to go. Like, I think that why wouldn't you think about an all-around place like that? I think we have so many, like, resorts. You have so many places that you're telling me that I can go skydive in the middle of my hotel, but there's not a child care center that a kid can go get safe education, then go to a safe bed at night. That's crazy to me,
That is.
It's a good mission.
That is.
I support it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and awesome with because this is a public platform. And when you say things on the pod, like, you're held accountable. Like, there's like this sense of accountability, and some of that saved me, being accountable on the pod. But it takes courage to come on and say, like, the things that you're the most insecure about, and then you put it out there. And honestly, like, it's good to normalize it, because everybody is living like a fucked up life to a certain extent. Like, so this is not an easy breezy existence, and the more that we can, face that and, like, recognize that it's not always good, then the more that we can recognize the parts that are good. So I like agree as far as my trauma, like, coming out of, like, the addiction stuff, like, I feel like that made me a better person who I am today.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I would never take that back, or I'd never regret it, because, it's part of who I am, and we have to acknowledge that type of stuff and own it. And I give you props for coming on here and owning it and acknowledging that stuff and putting it out there.
I use your guys' podcast as a safe space. I learned last year that I got to get a lot off of my chest.
Nice.
And I got to, and it's that public part of it on being loud and proud about, this is what I have to say. If you want to disagree with me, please, all means, but I don't care. And I think that that's such an important space to have. And you can be insecure, and you're allowed to be upset, and you're allowed to be all these things, but, be you in it. And I think that you two create such a good space for people to do that and to be able to just share who they are here. And so it's easy to do on this couch, to sit here in this blanket and to be like, okay, so I'm just going to talk about my problems, and I've been waiting
like
a year.
It is like
it's
therapy.
Exactly like therapy.
That's how I've treated it for the last 5 years for me.
Yeah, no,
You know?
and it's beautiful to be able to do that, but it's also beautiful to live in an age of day, because this wasn't like that. I mean, even 5 years ago, even 10 years ago, that wasn't a thing where you could honestly just sit there and be like, hey, this is who we are, this is just what it is, and we're gonna do it. And that's really cool and really important, and it's very healing to have somebody like me who has so much heavy things going on, but to be able to come here and talk to two people that I love dearly just about silly things like social media and stuff like that. Like, that's such a cool thing to be able to do.
Yeah, and then get serious at times, It's all about not taking life too seriously, but be serious when we need to.
Yeah.
No, it's fun, and it's awesome to have seen how you grew. You're looking great.
Thank you.
And we're excited for all your momentum.
Yes.
And you're a great conversationalist as well.
Makes our job easy.
You might just, and I'm not going to spill any beans. We're talking a lot about beans on this episode, but
I'm the coolest bean in the burrito.
I think you are the coolest bean in the burrito.
Thank you.
You have a creator gene in you. I can sense it.
Thank
You got that in there.
No, it's a goal, man, and I mean, like, I'll spill it right now. I'm trying to work more with these men. No, I mean, what you guys do, and I mean, truthfully, like, even the creative part of what I want to do, I would just love to do more things with you two. I mean, the perspective that you two bring to my life personally is so helpful as men, as older than me, as different walks of life of me. It helps me so much to go through things, and especially having such a family bond with one person and just like a starting bond with one person, it's so helpful. So I greatly value my time here, because you two are very, very monumental people, and I hope that the rest of people that listen to your podcast feel like that.
Thank you.
That's a great
those are
compliment.
powerful words right there. Much appreciated. For sure.
Everyone could be monumental, though.
That's right.
That's the thing.
If they choose to be.
Yeah, you have to, and honestly, I'm a heterosexual man, but it feels good sometimes just to be fucking fabulous.
I know that.
Well,
and I tell you,
know
what, the definition of fucking fabulous is the two of you.
Like,
so
fabulous.
That's full send right there.
Well, and it's the cowboy boots, the backwards hat, and the race gear for me, and then just the absolute fucking blue-eyed fucking businessman casual fit over here.
I had to go into the office today.
Yeah.
It was something.
And I tried to go opposite of last year. I tried to go light and everything because I was more like biker last year. So I'm like, no, I'm loving this. Like, not only appearance-wise are we all perfect, but conversational-wise we're all perfect. And I'm not going over today. Y'all should be proud of me. Not going over today. But
no, last time we went over a bunch of epic conversations.
Well, but I
subjects.
also talked to you guys for like an hour and a half last time.
Well, we're pretty much there again.
Well, there's technically no over on the show. I mean, we try to shoot for like an hour.
Just to keep
around there.
That way everyone doesn't feel like, oh, why'd that person get longer time than me?
Well, and
because
all the
I'm
juice,
cool.
all the juice is at the end. Like,
always.
Like, it's always like, in
know.
the beginning it like starts going, and then
it's true.
By the end, it's like starts getting really juicy.
Because people get comfortable at that point.
Yeah.
Not that, I mean, you were ready to go from day one, of course.
Yeah.
You were chiming the bit, like, I'm ready to get back on the pod.
Can
And the
you
second we
imagine?
had an opening, I was like, we got to get
Yeah.
Erin back on. And it almost came right on the 1 year anniversary. Almost.
And I'm proud of that too, man. I'm over here like, listen, guys, you're gonna have to see me every May until this podcast is done, because now I feel like it's a tradition.
I'm up for that. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely on Discussion
Yeah.
Combustion, but you're going to be seeing us well before then. We have
Good.
things to discuss.
Good, I love that.
Yeah, we're going to have this discussion.
Yes. Well, I just thank everybody for listening to me for a second time, because it's not like I have anything important to say. So the fact that y'all are listening is just a good.
It's relevant, and we're gonna share all the social media down below.
Yep.
Anything that is new from last year, or are we good with the same?
No, so I guess the only thing that's different is I don't do OnlyFans anymore,
gonna ask
which
you about
I'll
that.
add like a 30-second thing on that. Is I have so much respect for people that can hold on that. That was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Really?
I made a good little amount of money. Like, I'm proud of myself. The hardest thing I've ever done. I want to do it again someday, but it's going to have to be where I've got free time like that.
Yeah,
Like, that is
interesting.
really
Big
hard.
commitment. That's what I've heard.
But other than that, no. I'm like, that's the only thing that's really kind of new on my social media wise. But yeah, no.
We'll keep it simple. We'll
Yeah.
put those down in the show notes,
Yeah,
and we'll see you soon, but on
Yes.
DCPC next May 2025. That's hard
Yes.
to believe. And if it went as quick as it did this time, it's going to go even quicker next. So looking forward
See
to
you
it.
guys next May.
Much love. Thank you so much for being an epic person, awesome guest, and open to talking about your emotions and vulnerability. Everybody tuning in, definitely check out everything we got going on and everything Erin has going on as well. You know the motto over here.
We'll see you on a Happy Friday tomorrow, folks. And be good to yourselves. Be the coolest bean in the burrito.
Always.
You deserve it.